Alright guys, and welcome to the 6th episode of Below the Bar.
In this episode, expect to find out what charities do to support veterans, how the production of Apocalypse Now almost got cancelled,
And how we exposed a Walter Mitty at a house party.
let's get into it.
Right, and we're back. Another episode.
Bit more of a serious one this week. We've done kind of 2 or 3 weeks of frivolous topics. We're going to cover something a little bit more sombre.
Yes.
We'll make it good fun, we'll make it light-hearted.
So it actually took some preparation this
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
And some foresight. Yeah, so we're going to be covering veterans and the SAFA charity.
Yeah.
So this is tied into what we were saying a few episodes ago when we covered the marathon.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about mental health and veterans a bit more in depth, just to kind of talk about reasons why we ran for those charities.
Yeah, exactly. To sort of relate back to, obviously we ran for separate charities for separate reasons, so just going to address kind of what those charities do and a little bit around the kind of overarching issue that charity sort of sorts out or looks to sort out.
Yeah, so we'll delve into the overall veteran landscape in the UK. We'll touch on some of the prominent veteran charities like SAFA, and then that gets a bit low. We'll lighten proceedings with top 5 war movies of all time, the definitive list.
There was a serious angle for this, but we've gone with the more light-hearted one because, like you said, you want to bring the energy back up.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of this podcast.
Always finish on a high.
Exactly.
And I've got an A level in film studies, so when I say definitive list, this is definitive.
Yeah, prepare to be nosed out at the end of this podcast. But we're going to go through Helmet of the Week first, as is tradition. So, do you want to go through it? So, it's only one between us.
Yeah, so this is a joint Helmet of the Week this week because we came up with it together at the gym, and it is treadmill walkers.
Yes.
Specifically within the context of summer.
Yes, absolutely. Even in the context of winter, to be fair. But on the day we saw it and thought of this, it was like a really nice day. It was like a bank holiday Monday as well, so no one's working. There's no excuse time-wise. And so people are choosing to get their steps in to walk on treadmills, obviously negating the vitamin D benefits and the just in general being outside benefits that come with walking outside rather than just staring at a fucking screen in the gym, which is obviously not what the gym's made for. The gym's made for lifting weights and doing actual cardio that benefits you.
Well, we need to cover some basics here. Right? So what they've done is they've squared away in their own mind that walking on a treadmill is a workout, which it isn't. Unless you like doing...
It's just basic human movements.
Yeah, unless you're doing kind of like warm-up, cool-down or rehab.
Yeah.
In my mind, I can't justify someone doing a long walk on a treadmill.
Even an incline walk is far-fetched.
Yeah. And we're not anti-walking by any stretch of the imagination. We love walking, but I like to walk in fucking nature.
Yeah.
In the outdoors.
Because again, a gym is made to do other things, and if you're spending your training time, which for a lot of people is very limited, you only have an hour to train, if that. And so why are you spending 15 minutes of it at the end just walking when you could be doing that at the start of the day and just doing it separately?
It's fucking stupid.
And getting 15 minutes more of something that's actually going to benefit you in terms of strength training or building your physique.
This actually annoys me. Right?
Yes.
Hence why the Helmet of the Week. Because I do a lot of walking around. Like, we're very fortunate to live near quite a lot of nice open countryside, aren't we? Yeah. So a lot of the walking I do is more to clear headspace than it is anything else.
Well, this is the difference though between you having a generally active lifestyle anyway and walking being a part of that, but nothing that's like constitutes a lot of your activity. So because you're running and doing weights and that anyway, walking is kind of a side note. It's mental space, like you said, rather than actual physical effort, because some people haven't done over 2,000 steps in 3 years, and so for them walking is a complete it's a crutch to rest on because they haven't done actually any exercise for ages. So it's something that it's like a low hanging fruit, low barrier to entry thing that you can do. However, you make it higher barrier to entry if you do it at the gym, because you've paid now £20 a month to go and walk on a treadmill.
Yeah. So I don't want to shame everyone for walking on treadmills, because I don't know, say if you've say if you're just starting out on your fitness journey and you've got to start somewhere,
Yeah.
it makes sense to walk before you run,
Yeah.
right? But we go to this gym a lot. We know the usual suspects, and these people are in, day out, walking, plodding along on the fucking treadmill like a hat.
Yeah, for like a long period of time as well.
Yeah.
We'll round through like 4 or 5 sets, look round, and they're still there. They're not warming up.
But this is the annoying thing, right? Yeah, you're right, they're not warming up.
Yeah.
Because it's not even a challenging walk to them. Because there's no progression. They just do the same walk every day. So the body's adapted to it.
Accommodation.
Yeah, and you just know they're going home with the idea that they've put themselves in the locker.
Yeah.
And they're just going to scran a load of fucking carbs, aren't they?
Even so, they're going to go home and sit, likely, aren't they? Because someone who's doing that isn't a generally inherently active person, so they're going to go home and sit for that now, or be sedentary for 23 hours in the day, thinking that 1 hour with 15 minutes of walking has done anything for them. When in reality, how long does it take to walk 10,000 steps, which is a hallmark goal, in my opinion, for everyone? It's not fucking hard to walk 10,000 steps. It probably takes about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour. Like if you do it on
an hour and a bit if you don't stop.
Yeah, so no one's doing an hour and 20 minutes walk on a treadmill. So
no, because
actually,
it's fucking
fuck all.
It's fucking soul destroying.
Exactly.
And also the fact that you're quite happy to leave the house, get in the car, and drive to the gym to walk on a treadmill, but for some reason in your mind that's less effort than just walking out of your house.
Yeah,
is fucking mind-boggling.
The thing for me though is the fact that what you've just said there. So they get in the car, they go to the gym, which is the hardest part of going to the gym, by the way, is getting in the car and going. Because sometimes I don't want to do it. When I get there, I'm good. They do that. They do the hard part, and then they're going to go and do something they could do at home anyway. Whereas that time in the gym, where they've paid for, and it's a purpose-built place to lift weights in a safe environment and progress and build muscle, build strength, improve your physique, and you're going to go and do something that you could just do at home. Makes no sense.
I think you can't make the argument that you have to go to the gym to walk. That's bullshit.
No, exactly. And even
because you can walk fucking anywhere.
Yeah, and it's probably better. Well, it is better for you to do it outside.
Yeah, like you said, because I do it because it clears my head.
Yeah,
because you're out in the fresh air. You know, you're seeing different things.
And certainly, I've noticed as well, working from home a lot, is you are a lot of the time just indoors. If you don't make an active effort to get outside, so even like a lot of times I'll spend my day behind my computer and then I'll go to the gym, and I'm indoors then for the entire day. If I don't make an effort to get outside and do something like a walk, then I don't have any time in nature. And humans evolved to be outside, so it's a healthy thing mentally to be able to do, and to starve yourself of that and do it in an indoor space makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. Helmet of the week.
Yeah. That's covered.
Got off on a bit of a bitter note there, but we'll move on.
Rein it back in.
So veterans, do you want a bit of a demographic overview?
I do.
I've done some digging with my winkle pickers.
Yeah, we don't want any of this research to get to waste.
Exactly. So I found an interesting MOD report for the Ministry of Defence that was published in 2017. So it's a bit dated now, but it's the most
up to date.
Most up to date statistics I could find.
I found this with MOD statistics. You have to go back a few years.
All government statistics are there's like a delay of a few years because it has to go through the political machine before it's churned out. Right. Have a guess how many veterans there are in Great Britain.
In total?
Yeah.
Difficult. Is a veteran, just so we know, is a veteran someone who's served in a war zone or just someone who served in the military?
Someone who served in the armed forces at some point.
I'm going to say 800,000.
More.
Really?
Yeah, 2.4 million.
Fucking hell, I was way off.
Yeah. So it's currently, as of 2017,
right, so
there
probably
was
more.
2.4 million veterans. I think there's less because it had reduced by 99,000 since the previous year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because right, so I'll get into it.
Because
so the majority of our veterans are very fucking old.
Right.
You know, so if you think about it, so like we're losing most of our World War II veterans now.
Yeah.
A lot of people were enlisted in Korea, which again is getting on a bit now. That was the 50s. Then you had all the national service.
Yeah, and so since then, ever since then, you would see a downward trend in service personnel.
Well, yeah, our armed forces personnel now is tiny, isn't it? Is it about 100,000 or something?
No, the army, British Army, so that segment is about 90 or 80,000.
Right, yeah.
But there's obviously the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy as well. But yeah.
Right, so do you want a more specific breakdown than that?
Yes.
So the average veteran is white, male, and over 60, basically.
Over 60, average. Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Because so 99% of veterans are white.
Yeah. I can fit the stereotype.
89% of them are male.
Yeah.
And 60% of them are 65 plus.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, really? Especially when you think there wasn't any women allowed in the forces for a very long time. And,
yeah.
And so that's probably only the last 30, 40 years maybe has been that 11% of veterans being women. And they'll be younger, but...
So technically, you are a veteran.
Technically, I don't like that term.
Which
though.
I was going to think this, because I've never thought of you as a veteran.
No.
I know you've never referred to yourself as a veteran.
I've also... Yeah, because I'm not hat. I've also never...
Don't ignore him, he walks around with fake medals normally.
Yeah, my rig's just over there, out of shot. No, but I don't actually consider myself a veteran. I know technically in whatever the definition is that I am, but I consider a veteran someone who's served in an active
yeah, it's an active tour of duty.
Because otherwise you've essentially just trained for 5 years, and that's great, but I mean...
So this is interesting, right? So a lot of veteran charities cast the net even wider.
Right. So
their definition of a veteran is anyone that served in the armed forces or done national service. Nah, surely not. I swear I read somewhere that it might have even been like down to cadet level.
No,
surely not. No, but I think like they still count national service as well, which I think is a bit weird because that was compulsory. So like everyone of a certain point of a certain age in Britain,
yeah,
that was male was doing it.
What do you think there's scope there for them to cater to people who didn't make it out of training? Have you got any stats on that? Any info on that? No. So I'm just wondering, because you said they cast the net wider, whether, if you spent 10 weeks in training, does that constitute armed forces service?
I don't know.
So
the SAFA charity cater to regulars and reservists from the Navy, the Royal Marines, the RAF, the Army, National Service, and their families. Yeah,
so it won't be training.
So I think you basically have had to become a trained rank.
Yes,
to qualify for
a regular or a reserve, you have to pass training. That's good though. That's ideal. Means no one's fiddling the system.
That was such a gammon comment then. That's good. That's reassuring.
It is. I would be
all these dole dossers plotting at home, thinking how they can fiddle a few quid out the system.
Yeah, just do 2 weeks in training.
Yeah, we'll just do 4 weeks basic at Livingston. You fucking sound, mate.
Yeah, start claiming on all the charities. Yeah, I would imagine that wasn't the case, but I mean, I'm glad it's not. Yeah, so I guess...
So you're a veteran.
Well, yeah, this is true. I mean,
this is weird, right? Because, like you said, my definition of a veteran is someone that's seen action, basically.
I have got a veteran's badge, so I guess that would tell me that.
I know you show me like every day.
Yeah,
he just took it off.
Yeah, so I mean, they give you that with your leavers pack. So I guess that means you are. But I'm the same. I always considered it to be people who'd actually served. And I would imagine, obviously, I'm not in that camp, but I'd imagine that if you had served and someone who hadn't would refer themselves as a veteran, you'd probably be a bit like, really?
Yeah. So this goes back to a bit what we were talking about in Lifting the Lid, isn't it? About how there's that kind of... there could potential for hostilities between service personnel that have served tours of duty and those that haven't.
Yeah,
and the kind of the lack of not like earning your stripes almost.
Yeah, there is certainly some of it, definitely, and not rightly so, but you can kind of see where they're coming from with the fact that they've maybe done 6, 12, 18 months in a country that's
a shithole,
really hostile. They've put in that amount of time to the service, and you who's maybe joined at a later date for whatever reason hasn't done that for whatever reason it is, whether you've just joined at a later date or whatever has happened, but there's still objectively a difference with what you've done and what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, isn't it, really? Because you can't do anything about the fact that there might not be, you know, an active war zone.
No, and this is why most people understand that.
You can't go out and start a war on your own, can you?
Exactly.
You can't just go off piste.
And equally, you really can't, if you are in a... So, regardless of who you are, if you're in the Marines, say, in a time when there's war, you're going to go. There's not like you can get out of it.
Yeah, so a lot of it is just chance, really.
Definitely.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from people that obviously have
No, and again, I think that's why
tour of duty, but like...
I think that's why it's not a major issue, is because most people understand that and don't really hold things against people. One thing I do want to say, though, is... this, I'm not going to name any names, but this is funny. So, in our troop at Armoured Support Group, they'll know who they are. They'll definitely know who they are, and so will everyone. So we had some stuff come across where we had to go to Estonia. So it's the Baltics.
Yeah.
So we had to go on a Baltics trip, and these two lads didn't want to do it for whatever reason. They were handing the notice in anyway, and they were like, "Fuck this! I don't want to go anywhere."
A free trip to Estonia?
Yeah, it was a gash, but I mean, it wasn't amazing, but anyway. So we had to have some injections, some rudimentary whatever procedure to go into those countries we hadn't had before, hadn't had in training. And so we went to the medical office, and everyone's lined up for the vaccines. These two lads refused. Both best mates, both, you know, in the same sort of same mindset. They refused to get their vaccines, knowing, quite smartly to be fair, knowing that they couldn't get sent on that trip without the vaccines, and knowing also equally that there's no way they can force them to have a vaccine because it's one of them things. Yeah. It's not COVID. It's one of those other things. So they were like, "I'm not having it. I'm scared of needles." Bear in mind, this lad is covered in tattoos, so he's like, "I'm scared of needles." Well, you're not, are you? And so obviously that, linking back to the point of disdain between service members, that with people who'd served in Afghan or whatever, really didn't sit well. Because you can imagine cause it's like... you can imagine they went fucking regardless, and they went to a fucking war zone. These lads are asked to go for fucking 4 weeks in Estonia, and they're like, "Nah, I'm gonna find every little which way to be a little, you know, and to try and get out of it." They did manage to get out of it. They didn't go, but it was fucking hilarious. So we had a crew room, so like a room with a pool table and whatever. Everyone used to chill in between jobs. We were all in there, including the two lads, and our troop hierarchy literally took it in turns to come in front of everyone. Usually if they're getting told off, you'll get pulled aside.
Yeah.
Right. None of that. So it went up the ranks. It was like 3 lance corporals, 3 corporals, a sergeant.
It did it individually. To like elongate it as well.
Yeah, so this was just like a bit of a dead space we had in the programme, right? Didn't have anything on. And so lance corporals come in, one by one, and make a beeline for these two lads and literally just fucking unleash hell on them, being like the worst, insults you could ever... You would never hear any of these things in a workplace, for example. And yeah, unload on them. They leave. Corporals come in, do the same. They leave. And then you're just waiting, aren't you, for the sergeant to come in, who's obviously the Billy Big Bollocks, got the biggest voice on him and also had done the most service, so has the most kind of disdain for these two. And it was just hilarious to sit there, kind of uncomfortable, but to sit there and watch that was absolutely fucking brilliant.
That's justified in my eyes, though.
Yeah, and me. And they got a shit time of it, because they managed to stay on camp, but they got all the shit details.
Well, you just made life worse for yourself. Like, it actually would have been easier to just suck it up and go to, the modern, westernised, developed country in the EU.
Yeah, and actually, that trip didn't end up being that bad. So it was fine. And it definitely wasn't worth all the shit they got. And it made them, known around the unit as being a little bit of a shit house.
Like you said, that's just going to go down like a fucking lead balloon, because you can't
do that.
You can't be trying to get out of a trip to Estonia in peacetime when some of your colleagues have literally served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Been shot at.
Yeah, that just doesn't fucking wash, does it?
Yeah. So again, if anyone's in the services or is looking to join, then don't do any of that, because it doesn't go down well. But yeah, there you go. There's a little dit.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Let's talk about SAFA.
Okay.
charity that you ran for. Well, let's talk about veterans charities in general. But we'll start with SAFA because it's the oldest of the big ones. Did you know that?
It's the oldest, and it's one of the most well known. And
so I didn't know this. I just assumed that the Royal British Legion was older, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
It predates it by quite a long time.
Does it?
About 50 years, yeah.
I knew it was the oldest. I didn't know it was that much older. But I thought it was between the British Legion, SAFA, and Help for Heroes that obviously did the most. But
yeah, so Help for Heroes is the new kid on the block.
Yeah,
that's only been going since like 2007.
Yeah, that's why it's quite modern, isn't it? And quite in with social media, etc.
Yeah, so SAFA is an abbreviation. What is the full title?
Well, it's the Armed Forces Charity, isn't it?
I think it's the Soldiers, Sailors, and Airmen's Families Association.
Yeah,
it doesn't really roll off the tongue.
So it's SAFA, and then underneath they always put the Armed Forces Charity because it's like the flagship name. But
SAFA is also slang for someone from South Africa.
Yeah, this confused me. So every video and everything I did, plug in my link for donations, I would always say SSAFA, which is a massive mouthful.
You look like a fucking hat.
I look like a helmet. And then I realised on the day, everyone's like, come on, SAFA. And I was like, oh, right, okay, that's how you fucking say it. And because to me, SAFA means a South African person.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I wasn't going to go around saying that because obviously you'd be like, what? So yeah, I mean, that was a learning curve for me.
Yeah, so it was founded in 1885. 138 years old.
That's mad.
That's mad, yeah, isn't it?
They must have helped veterans from what were the fucking first
it was set up by a British Army officer to help support the families of soldiers fighting in, I think, one of the Zulu wars.
That's
like one of the colonial wars at the time.
It's quite a, I guess not a modern thing, but quite a deep thing to think about for someone that long ago to have the foresight to be like, okay, we need an organisation to come together to help these people who are coming back from war.
True. It must have been quite a prevalent issue though, because if you think about the size of the British Army in those days at the height of empire,
huge.
It's massive. It must have been one of the main forms of employment in the country.
It probably
if you were a bloke.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I mean, to have support, I feel like having support for people is modern anyway, in any regard.
Modern things. Yeah. Philanthropy was quite big in Victorian Britain.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah, because the state.
The state would do a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The state structure wasn't there so much. It was left to individuals to fill the void.
Well, that's true. That's where charities come in, isn't it?
Yeah. So you got the SAFA charity. Got any personal dits with the SAFA charity?
No, nothing personal really. But obviously, I knew I wanted to run for a armed forces related charity that helps veterans. Apparently, being one myself. But more importantly,
I'd like to raise money for myself because I'm fucking skint.
No, but more importantly, obviously, knowing anecdotes to the end, kind of personally, people who've left the service having done a hell of a lot more than I did and haven't had a good time of it, essentially, and have either kind of rejoined or whatever it is, are doing shit jobs that they just shouldn't be doing right with what they've done for the country. And so, yeah, any charity to me that helps those people is doing fucking great work, and that's what I wanted to raise money for. And so, to me, I mean, it's probably not 100% accurate, but to me, whether it was Help for Heroes, British Legion, or SAFA, really the money should be going to those same places. So it doesn't.
They all do a lot of good work, don't they?
Yeah, but in terms of personally, I obviously know a load of people who've left the service who aren't doing very well, basically. So
no, well, I was literally today. I was listening to a podcast with Jason Fox, and he was talking about how when he got medically discharged for PTSD, he was like close to taking his own life.
Yeah, and you will hear that so much.
And it's like it's all too familiar, unfortunately.
All too familiar, and you would think again. You look at Jason Fox; he's like fucking.
That's what I mean.
Number one alpha male. You know, he's like absolutely huge bloke, XSF, smashing it.
Well, he's like the poster boy for special forces in this country.
Yeah, now he is. Yeah, but even he was struggling massively because, and again, another thing is that he put in arguably more than anyone else. Someone leaving. Not to throw shade too much, but someone leaving like the RLC, for example, probably hasn't. He's done 4 years, definitely hasn't done as much as Jason Fox has done in his 10 years in Special Forces, where literally every year you're away for 18 months in the year, 18 months, 80% of the year, and that time away isn't like a peacetime Estonia trip. It's war, and it's like
and
you're doing mad shit.
And if you're like Special Forces as well, like your contact time with the enemy is going to be quite high, isn't it?
That's it. And so for those people not to get the support from, from the government and whatever,
or the state, really, it's just a massive vacuum, isn't it?
Yeah, is terrible. So that's another good reason why we need these charities in place.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, so SAFA specifically will literally help any regular or reservist from the UK Armed Forces, be it, Army, Navy, RAF, Marines, and their families. People that did national service back in the day. So, so they've cast their net very wide. They're helping a lot of people.
And they are quite huge, aren't they? And they do a brilliant job. There are individual... Well, as far as I know for the Marines, there is. I imagine that there are for everyone else, but the individual charities that cater to those individual services. So there's the Royal Marines Association.
Yeah. So they all have their own.
Yeah.
I feel like they all cover their own backs with their own like associations and charities, but
there's more broad brush.
There are more like amorphous ones that have kind of grown, obviously because of their age and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot you can turn to, but it all comes back to, which we'll speak about in the mental health thing. All comes back to being okay with accepting that you're struggling.
Yeah.
With whatever it is, financially, mentally, whatever. Normally mentally, I imagine, and reaching out, because it kind of relies on someone reaching out to a charity, or even, and this is why you get taught and you get shown the buddy system so much, and it gets drummed into you, because even afterwards, if you maybe haven't heard from your mate for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you maybe know that there's something going on, and you can reach out to him. Is he okay? If he's not, then you can actually on his behalf probably go to one of these charities and help out.
Well, one of the services that SAFA provide is called Force Line. It's like a free confidential phone line.
That's good.
It's a bit like the Samaritans, but for military personnel.
A bit like the
basically.
suicide helpline.
Effectively. So if you've just got any issues or you need some support, there'll be someone there that you can talk to.
That is brilliant, isn't it? But again, it still requires you to make the move, which is kind of the problematic bit.
Yeah, it is. Some of the other stuff they do, there's support groups for bereaved families, sheltered housing for women and children affected by damaged relationships, financial assistance and advice for families in need, short breaks for families with disabilities, so potentially like an amputee or stuff like that. So they're doing a lot of stuff basically.
They're kind of doing a couple of other charities, that Make-A-Wish Foundation that do. I know that's a bit more, they're terminally ill kids, right? But they have that idea of the disability and sending people on trips and stuff like that. So
I guess it just shows kind of how big the charity is, because a lot of charities, like you said, will kind of specialise in offering a certain kind of support
to a certain demographic.
But SAFA are offering a lot of services to a lot of a wide, diverse array of people. Yeah. The only thing really that they've got in common is that at one point or another they were armed service personnel.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, whether that's 4 years and not seeing anything, or 10 years in Special Forces and seeing everything. You get afforded. There's no discrimination, or obviously there wouldn't be, but there's no like special treatment for someone who's done more or someone who's done less, which is really good.
So that's SAFA. That's the one that I know most about through you. We've obviously also got the Royal British Legion.
Yeah, they're really big.
You probably, if you live in a decent sized town in the UK, you will have a Royal British Legion
affiliate, I guess.
Yeah. So that was set up in 1921, following the First World War, to help the veterans of that. That makes sense. Did you do anything for the Royal British Legion when you were in cadets?
I did. Yeah, so...
do you the usual stuff, like you pack people shopping and stuff?
Yeah, like standing outside shopping centres, kind of collecting a little bit of money for them. That was our main... Well, that's the main charity. I think that's one of their biggest arms, is trying to get cadets to raise money for them. So you do that, you do...
It's ingenious, really. It's free labour, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like slave labour.
Yeah, and they sell it to you essentially by saying, Yeah, you can put that on your CV. So go.
Oh, this will sound great in your fucking Marines interview.
Your
or
first
whatever.
job interview.
Yeah.
So you pack shopping, you do all that sort of stuff. But we also use their gaff, their building, for any like awards ceremonies or whatever. So heavily linked.
So our Royal British Legion building's only like that's like
800 metres.
800 metres away, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never been in there. I've walked past it thousands of times.
Yeah, you will.
Kind of intrigued. It's a proper old school, like an old man, like an old social club. You know, like an old man working men's club kind of vibe.
Yeah, it is a bit like that.
Is it like rows of seating?
Yeah, they can cater. It's like a function room.
Oh, so they just changed
They can just do whatever. So like when you would have promotions in cadets, you would have like an award ceremony. You would get given your promotion. Obviously, there'd be lines of seating with families, and then they'd clear it all out, and there'd be a big disco fucking party thing.
Mad. Fucking
Cadet.
living the life, mate. If you want the rock and roll lifestyle of Harry Shepherd as
Get
a
yourself
youth,
in cadets.
get yourself in the cadets, mate.
Yeah.
You can wear your uniform for Mufti Day.
Yeah, it was good.
And then obviously we've got Help for Heroes, which is
massive.
the new kid on the block.
New kid on the block, but huge and do a lot and great work.
So I actually, this is funny. I actually went to a Help for Heroes concert at Twickenham Stadium, obviously the home of English rugby, in like 2011.
Yeah.
So I was like year 8.
Yeah, proper
year 7, proper. Not well. The thing is, so at the time I didn't even know really what Help for Heroes was. Like I just got sold it as like a decent concert by my parents. But like looking back now, I was just. This isn't related to Help for Heroes. It's just me being a fucking melt. Like I spent this is how like kind of ignorant I was as a child. So like some of the biggest like pop stars of the time were playing. I don't know, fucking Alexandra Burke or whatever.
Yeah. Take that.
Oh, and I think it's literally. I think it was the first time that Gary Barlow and Robbie Williams had sang together since they'd split up or whatever. So it's like there's proper
occasion.
Yeah, there's proper like die in the wall like take that keynotes there, waiting for this moment. We're up in the fucking gods at the back because they're the cheap tickets, and my dad's a Yorkshireman. I spent the entire night on eBay, right, trying to win a bid for a model James Bond car.
Fuck's sake! So really immersing yourself in the experience.
Yeah, so immerse myself in the experience. Yeah. Not done myself any favours there as a known noise.
Did you win the bid?
No.
Right.
And then I had the following day off school because I didn't want to go in.
Fuck's sake. Tough upbringing.
Yeah. So there's little ditch for you there.
That's funny.
I am told that the Help Heroes concert was good though by my parents who actually watched it.
Yeah,
so.
who actually were present in the moment. But that's fine.
So they're the main 3 veterans charities. There's obviously a lot of other veterans charities.
Yeah,
perhaps don't have the same prominence in the media, but they're all doing great shit.
Yes,
basically.
Exactly.
So if you're ever thinking of raising some money for a cause or whatever, but you don't really know, you know who's to
do it for.
Yeah, who's hang your coat on.
Yeah.
Then give veterans charities a think because there's always people. There's always going to be ex-service personnel that are going to need help.
Yeah, I get quite a lot of messages actually. Well, a couple that people who are doing mad events and asking me to share their stuff, and they're always budding Marines or whatever, and they're raising money for the Royal Marines Association, which is fucking brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to see that. They're not even in the Corps yet.
No, exactly. And so they're doing like Tough Mudders and raising shit.
Yeah,
great.
that's class.
Another one I wanted to mention, honourable mention, is the Reorg charity. Come across them?
Yes, only through you though.
Yeah, so they're not massive, I wouldn't say, but they are building certainly. So they're a Royal Marines founded charity by a bloke called Sam Sheriff, who's a ex-PTI in the Marines, and he's it's kind of centred around Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, so he's the BJJ guy.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what they do is essentially provide ex-Marines, or I think ex-servicemen, to be fair, I think it's pretty broad, any ability to go to jiu-jitsu events and jiu-jitsu kind of schools, and they subsidise things, I think, with the thought of Marines like controlled aggression, which is jiu-jitsu. They also like to be in a community with like-minded people, and so all these kind of these things that prop up people's mental health in the Corps. So when you're in the Corps, loads of fucking time to get your testosterone out, right? With all the training, loads of time spent in a community of like-minded people. When you leave, you haven't got any of that shit anymore, and you might be doing like an office job and
Yeah. So
feel
what is it
real-
like?
feel really
Is it
alone.
like therapy through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu almost?
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. So it's pretty cool. I think it's a great idea, and it's ran by a couple of legends. So we'll probably shout them out on a clip or something. But
Yeah, nice. Shout out to Reorg. That sounds good.
it's good. Shit.
So the other elephant in the room, which we've already covered in a previous Lifting the Lid episode, is veterans and homelessness.
Yes. So
Should
go
we-
back and
should-
listen to that if you
Go back and listen to that.
That was
We'll
live
give
after
it-
the core.
Yeah, that was live after the call. If you haven't already listened to that episode, it's a good one.
We'll give it a little broad brush now.
We'll give a broad overview and an update because we left you on a cliffhanger, if you remember.
Yes,
For anyone that was aware. So, veterans and homelessness has been a long-standing issue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unique to Britain, but we have had quite a large problem with veteran homelessness. So, the overall figures. So, in the 1990s, figures estimated that 20% of homeless population of London were ex-service personnel. So, 1 in 5. That's high.
Remember that?
Yeah. British Legion, our friends at the British Legion, claim that rate is now much lower. So apparently, as of 2023, there are 270,000 homeless people in the UK, and 6% of them are ex-service personnel,
Right.
meaning that there are 16,000 homeless veterans in the UK.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, it's still a fucking lot of people.
That's still 16,000 too many,
Yeah.
in my
It's
eyes.
still a lot of people.
So, yeah, so we covered that in a bit more depth in the Lifting the Lid episode. So if you want to hear more about that. Anyway, the point that we need to cover is the fact that the government, make of that what you will, committed to ending rough sleeping for veterans as well as wider street homelessness
by this year, right?
by 2024.
Yeah.
So by my mark, that's just over 6 months away. So I did some number crunching earlier, and that means that given that they have the best part of 6 months, that means they roughly need to get 2,600 homeless veterans off the streets every month.
Yeah. I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening. I'm not sure how big the veteran minister's spare bedroom is, Johnny Mercer. Can't imagine it's going to host 2,600 people every month.
Yeah, true. I think they were trying to end rough sleeping in general, weren't they? It wasn't just veterans.
Yeah, so it's wider street homelessness as well.
So it was 260,000 people or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Again, so he's going to need an extension if anything. Isn't
Pretty outlandish. And again, this is what happens all the fucking time in politics. Someone in a prevalent position will be given a random target. It's what happened in COVID. It's a lot of the reason why a lot of the COVID policy was terrible, because they get given this. So, for example, testing in COVID was given to Matt Hancock. You're like, okay, I need you by this date to be able to test 1,000 people a day. Completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
Nothing really related to what was going on. Anyway, he gets to close to the deadline, and obviously it's career critical for him. And he's like, shit, haven't done it. Fuck. How can we kind of fiddle the numbers, or how can we, give a quick contract to my pal? Where, we'll get it squared away. So that's where these things go wrong, is that politicians get given these random targets and they can't achieve them because they're unrealistic. And
See, it's funny that you mentioned COVID, right? Because during COVID, during lockdown, they did end street homelessness.
Exactly.
Almost overnight.
Yeah, they did. They housed them all in hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when
then-
when COVID finished, they just kicked them all out again.
Yeah, it's like,
Back you go.
Yeah, Sam, mate, yeah, the pandemic's over now, so you can fuck off back on the street, that'll be sound.
Madness, mate. Have you seen the clip of Rishi Sunak at like a soup kitchen?
Oh yeah,
feeding
he was
people.
like cosplaying charity, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's fucking...
He
load
looks
of shit.
so
Load of
fucking
shit,
out
that
of
is.
his depth as well. Also, not that I watched it, but I saw a TikTok of it. Him at the King's coronation party. So he's like, say Prince Charles and Camilla are like front row. He's like second row, and he's like trying to act like he's an actual fucking normal human being by like dancing to take that. He honestly looks like a fucking alien, lad. Like, that bloke...
You sure he's not on eBay looking for James Bond?
yeah. I'm fucking down with the people. That bloke, he's so out of touch
Mate.
with normal society.
You've just got to look at how much money he earns. Like, it's,
Well, yeah,
it's just
exactly. He's
absolutely
literally, his wife
Anyway.
is literally a billionaire. Anyway, we digress. So basically, the take home from that little dit is that the government have lied
Again.
yeah, make of that what you will,
So,
about housing veterans, and they've got 6 months to take 16,000 people off the street.
I don't know how they're going to get around that, right? But what happens again is at the start of someone's term, they'll give ridiculous claims that they're like, oh yeah, and then when you hear that on the news, you're like, fucking hell, that sounds good. Yeah, vote for him.
So I'm sure
it comes around. You're like, oh, right,
I'm sure this will get kicked up at some point before the end of the year. Some journalist will do some digging and they'll be like, oh well, where are all these, where's all this housing for homeless people?
Surely.
And then the government will either rebuke it and move the goalposts, or they'll blame immigrants.
Yeah, which is what they do.
Effectively, that's their go-to normally, isn't it?
Exactly. Quite strange considering the Prime Minister himself is an immigrant. But anyway,
Well, exactly. That's the thing, isn't it? It's
which family were anyway. They're from Bangalore. Do you know?
You've recently been there.
Yeah. Yes. So take home from that is the government of hats.
The government of hats, and also if you've got an ageing population like we have in the UK, you need immigration for economic growth. If you don't like immigrants, don't hate me. That's economics, mate.
Yeah,
so,
that's how it works.
If you disagree, leave a comment. I won't read it. So that's kind of all of the charity stuff squared away.
Yeah.
I wanted to cover the homelessness. I'm glad we got that. Put together a list of some famous UK veterans.
Okay.
So we've
already had one of these segments, haven't we?
It was about people that had served in the Royal Marines specifically. I've cast the net wider. A lot of net widening this week.
It's a theme.
Yeah, I'll be honest, they're a bit dated because, like we've already said, just with demographic trends, less people serve in the armed forces now, so the chances of them kind of being famous once they leave are reduced because less people are in the armed forces. Anyway, I digress.
Let's get into it.
Pretty famous one, Michael Caine.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Legend. Served in actual Korean War. Actually fought.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice. What a ledge. Be teaching.
So, in case you don't know who Michael Caine is, absolute legend.
Yeah.
Iconic British actor. I won't do an impression.
No.
Because
please don't.
That will get clipped. So, I'm trying to think. The most recognisable role he's been in for kind of younger people is Alfred in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
Batman's butler.
Yeah.
He was also in The Prestige. That's a good film.
Was that in The Italian Job? Was he not?
Yeah. So all the old films. So like he was in Zulu. He played a character called Harry Palmer in the film adaptations of some famous spy novels, like the Chris File. They're a good film.
Yeah.
Film
studies coming.
A Bridge Too Far.
Yeah.
Obviously, Charlie Croker in Italian Job.
Yes.
Again, I won't do an impression.
Please
The
don't.
Temptations there. So he actually got called up for his national service in the 50s. And he served a year and he hated it. So they said to him, you can either go to Korea and fight for a year and then you can leave, or you can stay here in Britain and do another 2 years. So he was like, well, I'll go to Korea then. Which I thought that was good, wasn't it? He's like, fuck this off. I'll go to Korea,
cut my losses,
fuck some shit up, and then come back and go to Hollywood. Gotta respect that.
Yeah, fair play.
Christopher Lee. Sir Christopher Lee. Actually, Sir Michael Caine as well. So you all know Christopher Lee.
Chris Lee used to be my fucking sergeant in my troop.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Not him. So Christopher Lee is, again, a legend.
Yeah.
What did he put? Saruman in Lord of the Rings. Count Dooku in Star Wars. Scaramanga, the Bond villain in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah.
Good Bond film.
Good
my
Bond
favourite. Count Dracula in the Hammer horror films, which are kind of like iconic British films. So again, like, if you're like kind of like under 20, well, no, if you're under 40, unless you're in Norse like me, you won't know who that is.
Nah, maybe.
In fact, no. To be fair, if you're a Lord of the Rings or a Star Wars fan, you'll definitely know who they are.
Should be fine.
Anyway, he had quite an interesting war record. So he actually served in the Second World War.
Yeah.
He was an RAF intelligence officer.
Okay.
In North Africa. And who else was operating in North Africa in like the early 1940s?
Yeah. Well,
our friends the SAS.
That's exactly it. I was thinking that. Well, surely did they work together? Is there any record of that? Or?
So he has said, but this as far as I'm concerned, it was never confirmed that he was at some points working with or within the SAS, or I guess it was like the Long Range Desert Group at that time. I don't think it was formally
No, it wasn't
the
formally,
SAS
no,
at that
no.
time. But as with
David Sterling,
those things are inherently secretive, aren't they? So I don't think there probably would be any evidence of that being the case.
True.
Because it was at the start, it was off record, wasn't it?
Especially as he's kind of a global figure now.
Yeah, well, he died a few years ago.
Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's mad. I didn't realise there was he had such a track record.
Yeah, he was a prominent anti-fascist as well.
Right.
So before he actually joined the RAF, when Russia invaded Finland in like 1939, I think, he actually went to Finland to try and fight for the Finnish army against Stalin, basically.
So an active anti-fascist
as well? Again, that claim was later disproven, I think. Or like there's some discrepancy about it. I think he did go to Finland, but I don't know how far he actually made it to the front line, basically.
On holiday, basically.
Yeah, he went.
Yeah, I fucking tried to get the front line. That didn't work. Sat down the pub to fucking tell him.
So that's an interesting one. If you're a Star Wars or a Lord of the Rings fan, read into that a bit more. Some more well-known faces for younger people. James Blunt.
Oh yeah.
The musician.
Yeah. Where was he in that? I've read that before.
So the best interview I've heard him do on this is when he was a star in the reasonably priced car on Top Gear, because Jeremy Clarkson asked him about it, and it's only like they're only like little 4-minute soundbite interviews, aren't they? But like he covers all the basics there. So he was trained at Sandhurst, commissioned into the Lifeguards. He served in a reconnaissance unit under NATO during the Kosovo War in 1999. So technically he did see some action, but it was more of a peacekeeping.
I'm certain he was in something with Bear Grylls, not the SAS, but he was on the same like officer course as Bear Grylls was before Bear Grylls decided not to do it, or they did something like they went to school together. I remember reading in Bear Grylls' autobiography that there was a massive connection with James Blunt. Maybe I'm making that up.
Well, they're both posh toffs, so for want of a better phrase. They're lovable posh toffs, but they are posh. Yeah. Famous for getting angry when they wouldn't let him keep his guitar on the inside of his reconnaissance vehicle when he was stationed in Kosovo.
Yes, I remember hearing about that. Yeah. Was that a tank?
Yeah. So I think it was like like a armoured personnel carrier or something. I don't think it was actually a proper tank.
I remember him saying in that interview.
For the sake of a dit, I think he called it a tank. But
well, that makes sense. I've done that a few times.
But yeah, I think he was fuming because they wouldn't let him keep it inside.
That's mental. Imagine being on a reconnaissance mission and some bloke's fucking playing the guitar.
Some hat.
Cheers,
some
mate.
Stereotypical like hippie hat. Yeah. You're like privately educated.
Officer as well.
Swanning around a war zone with a fucking acoustic guitar. Like John Lennon. Fuck off.
Officer will be the fastest to get ostracised in the fucking world, mate. Especially in a reconnaissance unit. They want to be sneaky beaky and fucking like quiet, and he's there playing fucking
Three Wise Men at the top of a hill. Fuck off.
What banger that is, by the way.
Yeah. But this is why I love James Blunt, right? Because he's so nonchalant about the fact he's a hat.
Yeah.
But like, because he's so self-aware, you can't then hate him for being a hat.
He's also a good musician, so you gotta love him.
Yeah, so a big kudos to James Blunt for being a hat. And then finally, Kelly Holmes.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Olympic gold medalist.
Smashed it. Yeah.
Smashed it at the Athens Olympics in 2004 or whatever.
Kelly Holmes.
So she was originally in the Women's Royal Army Corps, which I don't think exists anymore.
No, it weren't.
Because I think that's the only
unit. Women's name.
I know that's the only unit that women could serve in, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's mad. She was also a British Army judo champion.
Mad. She's just a fucking athlete. Do you know what I mean? Like one of them people who can just turn their hand to anything.
Yeah, so I think she was in the Women's Royal Army Corps, and then as soon as that got chinned off and they went to regular units, she retrained as a PTI.
Oh, fucking of course she did, yeah. Fair
and then she fucked the army off, and then she went and cleaned up at Athens 2004. So
yeah, probably still needed that job, mate. Olympians get paid fuck all.
So fair play to Kelly Holmes. Can't take anything away from that.
Love that. Nice.
So that's the end of my list.
Yes.
We've now reached the tasty part of the podcast.
Hold before we go through that though. I want to touch on something that you'll be happy to touch on. This is.
You know what I like touching.
This is the Walter Mitty.
Oh right, yeah.
So
yes, of course.
This is my segment. So
right. So actually, being the cynic that I am,
Yeah.
I'm amazed that I didn't put this into my prep.
Yeah,
But
I am as well.
We do need to cover
I was waiting for
the
it.
Walter Mitty in the room.
Yeah, I was
and
wait-
certain individuals.
I was waiting for it to come up on your prep, but I had it noted down just in case. So yeah, if you don't know what a Walter Mitty is, it's essentially someone who claims service and hasn't served, or potentially claims different service to what they have done. So
So there are different levels to being a Walter Mitty, I guess.
yeah.
Aren't
So
there?
an example would be someone who's in the army claims to be in the special forces, or around that kind of thing, that kind of vibe. If you're in the know, you would know that they're chatting shit. If you're a civvy and they're just down the pub spinning dits, then you'd probably not know it, and you'd probably think, oh fucking hell, what a legend. And that's what they're looking for. Is essentially the long and short of it. But yeah, it again, like you said, they're a spectrum, and they're on the spectrum, and either they're a civilian and just completely have done nothing in their life, regards to the military, and claim to have done, and they usually make pretty outlandish claims as well. You're not going to like impersonate being in the services and be like, oh yeah, I spent 4 years in the logistics corps and didn't do anything. Yeah. You're going to go, okay, I won a military cross in Afghan or something.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you're going to double down, aren't you? You're going to go to the nth degree. Like, you're going to say you won like a military cross in Helmand or whatever.
Yeah, and all the fucking interviews you would have seen on YouTube, you can go and type them in, they're quite funny, where a service member, so the Walter Mitty in question will go up to this serving person thinking they're a civvy or thinking they're none the wiser, and spin them their well-prepared story about how good their service was or whatever, and that veteran the real veteran will proceed to tear them a new one, which is hilarious to watch. And also, yeah, they rely on just being able to talk to civilians essentially.
So like, I would never, as a civilian, I would never dream of doing this.
Bizarre.
Like, you've got to have a lot of bottle, especially if you're a civilian posing as someone in the military. I guess if you're already in the military, you have a slight air of credibility, but then again,
you also have an edge because you kind of will know the lingo. You'll know
yes,
where
you can
the units are, and
you can definitely make it more plausible to civilians.
Yeah,
but you get found out by people who are in the know, who are also in the military.
The only people that will find you out in that case probably are the people who are in that unit you're claiming to be in. So if you get unlucky enough, but the civvies who do it, it's quite funny because they'll be like saying whatever they're saying, and then the veteran will be like, oh yeah, so where's that unit based, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I was in 8-9 Commando. It's like,
right. So we had a prominent.
So you weren't we?
So we have first-hand experience of this.
Yeah,
don't we?
We do.
So when you were actually in, we're gonna go there. So when you were in we won't name names. When you were in the Corps, you hosted a house party on one of your leaves, didn't you? And
let's go through it.
Someone turned up. He wasn't invited. Says a lot about his character as a Walter Mitty.
Shock.
Then proceeded to start spinning dits to you about how he was in the Corps.
Yeah.
But he didn't know. Did he know you were in the Corps? He did.
No,
Oh, really?
He did. Because
so
that was an in for him. That was a conversation.
Right.
Like a common ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the Corps at this point. Again, had a party, and this guy, when you're fucking couple of beers deep and you start spinning dits.
And maybe other nefarious substances as well.
Yeah,
he was the type.
In his case. And essentially he would be like, all right, trying to chat to me on common ground about what the units are like, what deployments are like, all that sort of, standard chat. And I was like, the stuff he was saying was kind of on point, like 80% there, but there was a little bit missing. And also the fact that, this isn't always true, but it certainly should be, and it normally is, certainly with Marines, is that you kind of have to pry to get to know what they did and to get to know stuff. He was far too willing to gob off about it, essentially, which was a red flag. I then did some digging via Instagram.
So the night happened or whatever. We were pissed, so we didn't dig too much into it on the actual night. Yeah. There was just a few
red flags.
Few red flags arose and a few words were said. But following that, we did some digging on Instagram, didn't we? And well, go on.
Yeah, so I did some digging on Instagram, and this is someone who posts pretty much everything important in their life, like everyone does. And so I scroll right to the bottom right of their Instagram, and I see a photo of him in foundation with his Lumi tab on. Lumi tab is like a luminous bit of mind tape you have to wear in the first 2 weeks of training. So I'm like, okay, cool. He was in the first 2 weeks of training. Next couple of photos up, there's one of him just in the accommodation. It's like, okay, cool. That was like 4 weeks later. There's then another photo at about week 15. So you have a troop fought in week 15, and you get an individual photo. He posted that. I was like, okay, cool. Week 15. So he posted his initial photo. He posted his week 15 photo. That person is 100% going to post when they get the green lid.
Yeah.
There's no question, right? I posted it. Loads of people posted it. It's the fucking thing you're there for, right? I scroll up. There's nothing. So there's no post after that week 15 photo that I could find of him anywhere near the commando phase, passing phase 2, getting into King Squad. There was no photo of him with his green lid on. Even since then, having served 6 months or whatever he served before he got medically discharged, was the story. There was no photo of any of that, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that was a massive red flag. And I was like, So you've posted 3 photos.
And it just fucking dried up like a mirage in the desert, didn't it?
And they're all from sub week 15.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was quite a funny personal one that we kind of know of.
It's just the front of it, though, because we don't really know this guy.
No.
It's like a friends of friends, isn't it, really? So he's turned up to your fucking little soiree,
yeah.
Which wasn't anything mental either, so it was a weird vibe in of itself, because it's like, we know everyone there, and then there's just him.
Yeah, there was like a couple of... They brought their entourage,
He's caught on to the fact that you're in the Corps.
Yeah.
And instead of thinking...
Well, better steer clear of this.
Instead of thinking, I'll be honest and say, I was in training or whatever, and then I got medically discharged, or thinking, I definitely won't pretend I was in the Corps, knowing full well that I haven't been. What he's decided to do is he's gone, oh, that's just cool, yeah. I'll also pretend I'm in the Corps to this stranger that I don't know in the party that I'm not invited to.
So also, what I'd say is, under the influence, you could maybe let it off. Not let it off, but like, you could say, okay, things get blown out of proportion, people tell you things that maybe aren't true, okay, cool. I've seen him on multiple other occasions, however.
Yeah.
And he's also doubled down on this story. So, like, it's not like it's a one-off.
So we've got another close mate who's in the Corps.
Yeah.
Who he's done exactly the same. He's literally, like, word for word, like, verbatim, spun the same story to, at a different social occasion we weren't at.
Yeah, this is another... There's another thing.
He's a repeat offender.
That exact night we were talking about, he was there, our mutual friend who's actually in the Corps. He was there the second time it happened, right? So, and we were in like a square. So it was me and Eddie, our friend who's in the Corps.
We're all on
the bloke.
Like we're all like in the know now at this point, aren't we? I remember this.
We've convened. And we know, he's a helmet.
So now we're just fishing.
Yeah,
basically. We're just fucking having him on. I'd forgotten about this.
So our mate was like, "Oh yeah, so how was your 30 mile? He was like, oh, that £80 burger gets heavy, doesn't it, or something like that. He obviously carried £30 in the 30 mile, and he was like, yeah, fucking hell, hang out that was. How long did yours take? Yeah, 10 hours, yeah, same, mate. It's like,
and then me going,
it's completely ridiculous.
Like me, I could never do what you lads do in the Corps, like fucking hats off to you, mate.
Feeding his
ego.
He's like, yeah, fucking love it. But yeah, that was hilarious. I'm glad we brought that up. Also, what I want to say, if you've watched, and you'll know what I'm talking about as soon as I say it, the SS Who Dares Wins. If you watch that, this is just an honourable mention.
I already know what you're going to say.
I think it's like halfway through one of the seasons. And Ant Middleton and, is it Ollie Ollerton? Yeah, two of the staff anyway, sit down with this bloke, because they bring him in and they sit him down, interview him about their past, why they're there, that kind of thing. They've been on Facebook doing some digging, and the same kind of thing really. This guy had told Facebook that he'd been in the Paras.
He put it on his CV as well.
Put it on his CV.
That he sent into the show.
Oh, yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, they found his CV on Facebook.
They found his CV on Facebook, that's it.
So he put it on his CV that he was a para for like a couple of years. And then they asked him, And
So
also
they pull him in for one of these grillings, don't they?
Yeah.
That they do for the purpose of the show, where it's like it's like an interrogation setup, but it's kind of basically to get a bit more backstory on the actual
their
contestants.
why.
Yeah.
So, and he'd been asked, as they all are asked at the start of the show, anyone got military experience? He'd not put his hand up. So at that point, he's like, okay, cool. No one's got it. Sweet. And then they've been online. They're like, okay, why the fuck is he saying he's got military experience there and not saying it when he's asked face to face? Then they ask him in the interview, and he's like, oh yeah, they literally go, we've been doing some digging on Facebook. You've got quite an interesting story, haven't you? You've got quite, And they turn the laptop round, and it's his Facebook post with him claiming to be in the Paras, and he's like proper shook, and he's like, fuck, I don't know what to do.
Aren't they like, yeah, immediately his face drops.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact wording, but it's a bit like, it's Billy Billingham, isn't it, actually? He was a para, and like, did a lot of shit in the Paras as well.
Yeah,
and it's Ant Middleton. So Ant Middleton is kind of like, I'd say it's bad cop, isn't it, really?
It's hilarious.
So he's leading it, and he's going, oh, like, tell us about your time in the
just
Paras.
like we were doing to that bloke, by the way, like proper leading him to fall, leading him to water.
And then Billy Billingham chips in, and he's like, you're in the Brotherhood? Like, he goes to shake his hand, and this bloke, he's like fucking sweating profusely at this point.
And you can see Ant Middleton on his chair, like proper shaking.
Yeah,
like
he's shaking.
He's ready to like launch himself.
And he goes like, why didn't you tell us you were in the Paras? And he'll go, well, actually, he's like a Geordie, innit? He's like, oh, well, actually, drill instructor, it's a lie. And he's, I fucking knew it, you fucking cunt. And he's fucking, honestly, he's like the best, like, 2 minutes of television ever. Just search on YouTube, SAS Who Dares Wins Walter Mitty. It will come straight up.
Yeah, and it's fucking worth the 2 minutes as well.
Because you just know it's coming, and it just makes it all the better.
Yeah, and you'll see Ant Middleton vibrating in his chair.
Yeah, I'm amazed he didn't fucking leather him, to be honest, because he's seething,
he was
isn't
definitely
it?
closed. Anyway, that's a long, unplanned segment, which I feel.
I'm glad we covered that. Actually, there's one final Walter Mitty hat that we need to cover, and this is an example of someone who is in the military,
right?
But he's overselling themselves, right? Okay. And they're a prominent, what I would term kind of military fitness influencer. We won't name names, but
I should say as well, my source for this, this isn't 100% true, but my source for this is extremely reliable, right? So, yeah, prominent name.
This is a prominent name. If you're in that circle, you will know who it is. And also, it's not... I'm not just saying this for his over-exaggeration. He's not popular for what he does in the military anyway.
Yeah, I would say
because he kind of makes light of it, doesn't he, really, for his own personal gain.
Yeah.
He kind of glorifies it, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And
he's like a Hollywood soldier.
And again makes out that he's done things that he hasn't.
Yeah, so he may, and again, this isn't 100% confirmed, but he may or may not have claimed that he'd done certain tours of duty that he hadn't been on.
Yes, and he could have been on them.
We don't know, and if he has, then
and he has,
apologies.
Then fair play, but yeah, from my source, he hasn't. Anyway, you'll know probably who we're talking about if you are in that sphere. But anyway, we won't name names because we could fall foul of some stuff. Anyway.
Alternatively, find us out on a night out when I'm half cut, and I'll just tell you. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll call him a hat. So time for war movies. Eddie's been waiting for this the entire episode. So do you want to go first? We need to alternate.
Yeah. So I don't know what you want to do.
We might have some common ground here. We haven't seen each other's list, so
yeah. This we're going in Raw. My favourite. So I'll start at 5, and then I think we should go down to 1.
Okay, cool. You got it in order. I like it.
So starting off with 5, it's the newest one on the list for me. It came out last year. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay.
You may have seen it advertised on Netflix.
Yeah,
so it's
good.
It's the third screen adaptation of a novel written by a German World War I veteran, and it's from the perspective of a German soldier in the trenches in World War One, and it's fucking horrible.
Really interesting as well because you don't often see that perspective.
No, so for British audiences it's different because you don't normally get films from the perspective of the enemy.
Yeah.
Also, really well made, like cinematography wise. It's a really visceral film. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
like it's grim.
Yeah,
I can see what it's like. It's an 18.
Yeah, but it's also one of them you have to kind of ready yourself up to watch, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
and
have to be in the right headspace
even
for
then,
that,
it's not nice viewing. Like I know it's on my top 5 war films, but like it's a powerful film.
Yeah, it's top 5 for that reason, bro. Not like viewing pedigree.
It's like you don't watch it if you just want like a bit of like Hollywood action, basically. Like it's very harrowing, but it is an important film to watch because it's the ultimate like anti-war film.
Cool,
right? Good. Your number 5.
Okay, my number 5 is Jarhead.
No, I thought this would be on your list.
Yeah. So this again, right?
See, this nearly made my list.
It's not an amazing film. It's number 5. It's not an amazing film. It's not a lot happens. Right? They're basically just fucking doing nothing the entire time. But the reason it's in my list is because it was pretty instrumental in my, I would say, like, my early research into what the fucking military is like. This
was a seminal film for you. Yeah, I remember it because you got me onto it.
Exactly. So that initial period of the drill instructor hounding him. It's obviously Jake Gyllenhaal, massively now well-renowned actor. And so that little period of the training side of things really got me interested, I think, in how that kind of person, that kind of the Marine in that case, is built up and is sort of selected.
So it's set in the first Gulf War, right? Mm-hmm. Which notoriously not a lot fucking happened.
No, so but I think illustrates that.
But I think that's why the film is so good, because it kind of paints a picture of like the monotony of soldiering.
Yeah, you're right. So
it's not all action, is it?
Well, from what I've heard, it's like 90-10. Like 90% sitting around reading, 10% scrapping. So that is a pretty accurate representation. They do a lot of like stinking training runs in the desert, which you would have been definitely taken on as like stocking fillers and stuff. So it's it's a good one. That's my number 5.
Nice, that's a good shout. I'd put that in mine actually. Number 4, The Hurt Locker.
Nice, yeah, I haven't got
good
that.
film.
Nice.
Won 6 Oscars, so it's critically acclaimed, including Best Picture. Catherine Bigelow directed it, I think. Who also
film,
directed Zero Dark 30. The hunt for Bin Laden.
That's a good one as well. I haven't got that.
Yeah, that's a bit fucking long though. In fairness, it's not really a war film either. It's all about spooks, isn't it?
Oh,
it's like CIA.
That's true. Yeah.
Hurt Locker, great film. Again, very visceral. More of an anti-war film than anything. None of my films are really very jingoistic. They're all
fair enough.
They all paint war in like a bad light.
Mine are different. Yeah.
It is a very good film though.
It is good. I haven't watched that for a while actually.
It's on iPlayer at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay, I might have to get that going. That's really good. That's a good one.
Jeremy Renner.
My number 4.
Go on.
Is Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah, see again, good film.
Very good film.
And that is also that's about a conflict that I don't think there is another war film about. It's the US intervention in Somalia in 1993, isn't it?
No, not that I can think of anyway.
Because it wasn't really like a war. It was just
no, but they've made a fantastic film out of it.
I know it's class. Yeah. Again, very harrowing.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything because obviously it's quite obvious from the title if you were to explain any of it what's going on. But if you haven't watched it, fucking definitely give that a go because that's in my opinion, one of the top ones. Like that's so well made especially for the time period in which it was released. I don't know when it was.
Early noughties, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't recent. So I
can't think who directed it though.
I'm not sure, but it's
But yeah,
it's really
good
well
film.
made. Again, there you go.
Again, title gives it away a bit,
yeah,
but it doesn't go that well. Put it that way. Number 3, I think my only World War II film, surprisingly, Dunkirk.
Nice. Yeah.
The Christopher Nolan 2017 masterpiece.
Very good.
Again, from a Nazi film studies perspective, very well made film, as you'd expect from Christopher Nolan.
Well, yeah.
Of
exactly
Inception and
pretty decent little list going on there.
Dark Knight trilogy fame. It's weird, right? Because the suspense isn't really built through any of the acting in the film.
Right.
It's more through the music and the cinematography. Because there's those really long shots of just like the beach, full of soldiers, isn't there?
That's true, actually. I haven't watched
It's like how sound builds suspense in film. It's a very good film if you've not seen it.
Yeah,
Again,
Dunkirk.
On iPlayer at the moment.
Nice.
So get around that.
Giving them some sauces, I like it. I love this. Okay, am I number 3?
Yeah, go.
I'm just ordering them now in my head because I'm
because you've done no prep.
No, I did put them in order, but I'm rethinking it.
Oh, okay. I like this. It's kind of ad hoc.
Ad hoc. I'm gonna go Saving Private Ryan for this one.
I deliberately omitted this from my list,
right?
Because I thought that most people would include it because it's like it's the poster boy of war films, isn't it? Really?
Oh yeah, it's everyone would have seen this film, but it's very well made and it's quite a harrowing account of World War II, which is it. Obviously, there's nowhere near ever going to be enough films about that because it's fucking mental what those men did in that fucking time. So Saving Private Ryan, you've probably seen it, so I won't go into too much detail.
You've probably seen it, and if you haven't seen it but you can't be asked to watch the full film, just YouTube the Omaha Beach opening scene.
Oh yeah,
because that sets the tone for the entire movie, doesn't it?
Definitely, and that's probably the only one you need to see.
It also, just riffing off that slightly, Steven Spielberg directed Saving Private Ryan. One of my honourable mentions, but didn't make the list because it's not a film, is the miniseries Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah,
that he was executive producer of with Tom Hanks, who was also in, because they're both war nauseas basically.
That's a brilliant series.
That is so like if we were including miniseries, that would be my number one.
Yeah,
like,
I might have to rewatch that. Actually.
It's fucking class. It's honestly like, the best. Oh, it's just so good. I can't even articulate.
It's unbelievable. So yeah, again,
it follows the story of like Easy Company of the 101st Airborne in World War II from their basic training all the way through D-Day to the end of the war, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just so well told. I won't give any more.
Yeah,
because
less people would have seen that. So definitely go and give that a watch. That's really good. Go on, your number 2.
Yes. So my top 2 now are Vietnam War films.
Okay.
So
Different to mine.
I have a bit of
I
have a bit of a penchant for Vietnam War films.
This is quite good because we didn't prep this together and we had none of the same mentions.
This is good.
This is great.
I like this.
Go on.
Yeah. So anyone that knows me will know that I'm all for the decline of the United States of America. So naturally, I am inclined to like Vietnam War films that paint the US in a negative light.
That might have to be clipped.
So my number 2 is Full Metal Jacket. Stanley Kubrick masterpiece.
Fantastic film.
So the plot follows a US Marine, Private Joker, from training through to his deployment in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Very much an anti-war film.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So a few little bits of trivia for you for this film. Yeah. You know the phrase "me so horny, me love you long time."
Yeah.
That gets spouted about everything. That is an actual line from the film.
Yeah, did it originate there?
Surely so it originated from that film.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So if anyone hear that on a night out or when you're pissed or whatever,
where are you going?
Yeah,
Bangkok.
It's got a fucking mint soundtrack.
It has, yes.
Really good soundtrack.
And a good understory about Private Pile.
Yeah, I'm glad. I love that you actually remember his name as well. He's a fucking head case, isn't he? Yeah. Again, we won't give anything away, but he doesn't end well for Private Pile.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't start very well either, really. For him.
It just doesn't really go very well. The military's not for some people.
Yeah, and that's what that paints, which is good.
But the other piece of trivia as well is Sergeant what's his name, Harmon, you know, the drill instructor in the film. He was actually a US Marine Corps drill instructor, which is a nice little, that's just a nice little dit, isn't it, I think. Because it's like he's been there, he's done it, and now he's got the t-shirt and now he's doing it on screen,
depicting it accurately, which is cool.
So you're number 2.
My number 2, American Sniper.
Yes.
So quite modern one. Probably people would have seen it.
This is quite a controversial film.
Yeah,
it got a lot of flack, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was fucking awesome.
For being a bit jingoistic, because it does bang the drum a bit. I'll be honest, I'm a fan of it.
I think it was a brilliant film. It's Chris Kyle, the American Sniper, funnily enough. But it essentially follows him going through his various tours of duty with his mental kill streak, and then it follows all the way to the shit end for him, really. But again, I won't ruin it. But
it won't ruin it. But the most powerful part of that film is the end slide text at the very end.
Yeah, and also he so what we've been talking about today with the veteran stuff is quite pertinent with how
Oh,
that film ends.
100%, yeah, yeah.
So it's
So what's
interesting.
same with Jarhead actually?
That's true.
Because that film ends with him ultimately being back in Civvy Street, unfulfilled and lost, doesn't it?
Yeah. Actually, I forgot about the ending of that. So again, amazing film, and one that follows a really prolific sniper through the.
That is a good film. Did Clint Eastwood direct that? I
think
feel like he did,
yeah.
and he's very kind of like Republican, pro-American. So I think that's why it got a lot of flack because
you're always gonna get flack though, aren't you? Especially with war films. Fucking hell.
I especially think that war films based in the more recent war on terrors are more controversial as well, given that the wars themselves were so controversial.
Well, they're just more recent as well.
Yeah, so it's more fresh in the memory.
Yeah.
So
Number one.
My number one. It's crunch time. This is arguably one of the best films ever made, let alone best war film.
Okay.
Apocalypse Now. The Francis Ford Coppola fucking masterpiece.
That is a very good film. I'll give you that.
So the actual film itself is class,
Yeah.
and it's on iPlayer. Again, I watched it yesterday. I urge you to go and have a look at it. But the reason why this is number one is because it was fucking carnage on screen and off screen.
Oh, really?
Like, do you know about this?
No.
So I did the film studies I have. All right, I actually did I did my project. So to speak, or what would you call it?
Assignment.
My assignment on Apocalypse Now. So I'm a bit of a nose.
Yeah.
Right, so it started badly and it got worse, effectively, the production of this film. So Martin Sheen, who was Captain Willard, who's like the main protagonist of the film, he wasn't even first choice for the role. Harvey Keitel was. He quit 2 weeks into shooting. They flew Martin Sheen out, and then halfway through filming, he had a heart attack.
Fucking hell,
Right.
that's mad.
So that's not great when your main character's fucking in hospital.
Well, your backup main character as well.
Yeah. Marlon Brando, obviously of Godfather fame, esteemed Hollywood actor, took this role towards the end of his career, should we say. He turned up fat and overweight, and then one day into the shooting, he shaved off all of his hair.
Right.
He then refused to be on screen unless he was only shot in shadow and he could say what he wanted.
Just what you want when you're directing a film.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what you want.
The only silver lining to that is Francis Ford Coppola himself didn't really have a script and was also making up the dialogue.
Fucking hell, that's mad.
Yeah, it gets worse, don't worry. There was a typhoon that ripped through the set in the Philippines, which is where they filmed it.
Hell.
So production was halted for ages because all the sets were destroyed and whatnot. So all the crew basically just turned to drink and drugs.
What, and it was just filmed through...
They're all just smackheads, basically.
That's mad.
So and also a lot of the actors on screen were also experimenting with LSD and stuff during filming. So the surfer character, I forgot his name, but he's kind of like one of the side parts in it. Who plays the role of a soldier who back in Civvy Street was an esteemed Californian surfer. Apparently in the film he's like an acid head. But actually on set as well, he was tripping balls on LSD.
Brilliant, getting characters.
That is fucking method acting, innit?
A little branch off from that. Are you aware of the statistic around heroin use and US...
In Vietnam?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it
like
95%
or something. So this is completely fucking unrelated, but it's something I was watching with Johan Harari. Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah, the guy who wrote Sapiens.
Yes, yeah, he wrote Sapiens. He wrote Stolen Focus, which is also a good book. Anyway, he was like, so a lot of people think this is completely random, but anyway, a lot of people think that heroin use and generally drug addiction is a chemical hook thing. So they think, right, anyone who's going to be exposed to these chemical hooks has no choice and they're just going to be addicted forever. He argues that it's a situational thing more so. So, and the reason he says this is 95% of US forces
experimented
were on heroin for the duration of the war. And the US government were like, fucking hell, when we finish this war, we're going to have hundreds of thousands of fucking heroin addicts, on our streets. And obviously, that didn't happen. Reason being because they had a different environment. So they were now at home. They were now no stress, all this kind of thing. And now they didn't need the chemical.
That's amazing.
Thing.
It's like a coping mechanism almost for while they were over there.
Yeah. So, but you would think from conventional wisdom, right? They've had heroin. They're all going to be fucked. But not the case.
To be fair, drug use is a theme that is explored within Apocalypse Now. So if you're interested in that, then watch it.
Yeah.
Are we not finished though? It gets worse. So they filmed the film in the Philippines, like I said, despite it being set in Vietnam. There's quite a lot of big cats in the Philippines, I'm told. Beat tigers. Where they had quite a lot of issues with tigers getting on set. Wild tigers.
Should you use them?
And also, the dictator of the Philippines at the time kept stealing their choppers for his own military.
That is hilarious. That's brilliant.
So they're obviously like knocking about in Hueys and that,
Yeah.
which is like the iconic like helicopter of the Vietnam
Yeah.
War, and he's just fucking nabbing them all for his own
And they're filming it.
Filipino army.
Yeah,
He's commandeered it. So that's my number one. Again,
Love it.
go and watch it if you're in Oz. Your number one
Is Lone Survivor.
Nice, right? So we were
you
talking about this yesterday,
Yes,
weren't we?
as you might know. For a couple of reasons. Okay, the main one being, so I used to use this. This came out kind of in a good time for me. So when I was in training, when I had a big exercise coming up, that I had to like get into soldier mode. It took me a bit of effort to get, to be a really competent enough soldier to get through these exercises. Anyway, I need to be in the right headspace. The night before, I'd watch Lone Survivor because of the demonstration of insane fucking bravery, competence, all this kind of thing. So I would watch Lone Survivor the night before most exercises, and it kind of helped me through.
So for anyone not in the know, this is a mad true story.
Yes.
About, is he a Navy SEAL?
Navy SEAL. This
that
is
basically gets stranded on his own.
Yeah,
in
so
the
what
middle
happens,
of buttfuck nowhere in Afghanistan, isn't it?
Yes, they get given a mission. I won't try not to ruin it, but they get given a mission, which is essentially there's one bad guy in this town. Go hit him up, get some recce, and then kill him if you can. They actually find out there's about fucking 1,000 Taliban in that town. They're now stuck. Their comms go down, and they're now basically retreating. There's 4 of them. And there's like an entire militia of Taliban after.
Yeah, it goes tits up basically, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then essentially the 4 become 1. So the 3 of the lads die.
And he's barely 1.
Yeah,
he's like a 0.5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so he's the lone survivor, as the name suggests. Also, a little bit of trivia for you. So Marcus Luttrell, which is the real lone survivor,
Protagonist name, yeah.
Actually is featured in the film a fair bit. So he was on set.
Is he a cameo?
Yeah, did you not?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I haven't seen it for a while.
There's a couple of times. There's a time when they're sat round the table doing the planning, and he's like in the corner, and then there's another time when they're like loading weapons, and he's in the place as well. So you see him as a fucking huge unit.
Yeah, I'll have to read
and yeah, so he's in it. I think the reason was they really wanted to nail it. So Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
So Mark Wahlberg was in it.
Famous for being a hat.
Yeah, and he was like, I really want to get this right, because he'd read the book and he was like, this is a fucking mental story. If I'm going to star in it, I want to get this right. So he had Marcus Luttrell, I think, train him essentially as a Navy SEAL for a couple of months. So he was really on point.
Yeah, so he's like method acting basically.
Yeah, and then he did it, and then Marcus Luttrell was on set to make sure that this film was actually going really well. And in my opinion, it's one of the best made.
It is good. I like the narrative
war films.
The narrative device they use at the end, which American Sniper also uses, because when they're rolling the credits, they use the real pictures of the real men, don't they? Yeah. Which makes it really powerful at the end.
Yeah, and at the start they use real footage of Navy SEAL training as well. Which
yeah.
is cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But it's the photos at the end that really get you.
Oh no,
because it like really brings it home that this actually happened. Yeah,
the fact it's a real story is another reason why it's in there for me at number 1. But it's quality, yeah, brilliant.
I love that we had no overlap there.
I know, that's mad, isn't it?
We've basically covered all the best.
Yeah.
The 10 best war films ever.
So you're welcome.
Because all the ones that I omitted from my list were basically in your list.
Yeah.
But like they equally could have, vice versa, they could have been in. There wasn't really much between them. So I love that. So
great. Happy days.
That proves how good we are.
You're welcome, by the way. 'Cause now you've got 10 fucking mint war films to watch.
I was going to say, don't say that we never give you anything back. Like, we've given you 10 absolute, and we've given you 11 because we gave you Band of Brothers as well.
That's hours and hours of wasting your life.
That's what I did as a kid, and I didn't turn out so bad.
Yeah. Well. Are we going to go through reasons to be cheerful?
Yes.
The singular reason to be cheerful.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I'll go through it and you can comment on it. So this weekend, as this is being filmed, this last weekend was the King's coronation. You'll all have seen it on TV, I'd imagine. But the one point of the coronation that I want to bring to light was the royal salute, which was fucking amazing. And more broadly, the ability of the British Armed Forces to be ultra professional on that day. So, like, there's 4,000 troops, okay? And there's one garrison sergeant major from the Guards commanding the 4,000 troops.
That's mad.
So, bear in mind, they probably can't hear his commands because it's mega loud, loads of people. So I think what had to happen from looking at it is they had to have like a passing on of orders system.
Yeah.
Until it got to the last rank.
You're delegated
and
down,
then they stepped off, and even then, no one was out of step. Everyone steps off at exactly the same moment, exactly the right moment. Just unbelievable. Anyway, that's not what we were going on about. The point when they stopped in the Buckingham Palace garden.
Yeah, so they did. For anyone that didn't see it, if you're living under a rock or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a massive.
I imagine most people saw it.
I'm not a massive royalist, but I just watched it for the fact that it's such a large historical event. Yeah. So he did the coronation ceremony in Westminster Abbey, which is like 1.5 miles away from Buckingham Palace or whatever. Well, that's the route that they took anyway. So they do the ceremony. They all march back, in the massive, the armed forces march. King gets his coach back to Buckingham Palace. They all rendezvous in the gardens at the back, and they do this royal salute,
which is quite cool as well because like being a part of that and getting to go into the gardens at Buckingham Palace would be insane.
Which is cool in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the King came out and they issued the most British royal salute ever. So it was like an in time hip hip hooray, essentially, wasn't it? Like 3 cheers.
Yeah, what was it like? It was like hats off, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
that's it. Yeah, so they took their hats off, took the headdress off, and then that was their cue to kind of get ready for this. And then the drill instructor counted them in, or the sergeant major counted them in to a 3 cheers, essentially, which is like the most British thing ever. It's brilliant. And you get 4,000 troops at the top of their lungs, bellowing out 3 cheers, which was fucking awesome. And so I imagine, obviously it was great on the TV. I imagine if you were there, it would have just been class. So.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not into that kind of thing, just seeing that as a spectacle, it's just powerful, isn't it?
No, exactly. And there you go. That's our reason.
In the pissing rain as well.
Yeah.
So
English.
Shout out to the armed forces as well that were involved in that, because they were there from basically like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
They were stood in the pissing rain for hours in the cold, and they smashed it.
Yeah, one of them fainted as well.
Marching in front of...
saw that video.
Yeah, I mean, marching in front of, like, the world's press.
Yeah.
Like, pressure's on in it, really.
Oh,
do you
yeah.
know what I mean?
And, by the way, the Marines absolutely showed up, so...
I saw that TikTok that you showed me with the army not painting themselves in the best light with their marching.
I saw there's a TikTok going around where someone's on the side filming, and there's a troop of guardsmen, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're all out of step, they're all a bit of a mess, essentially.
But they're just walking.
Yeah. And then literally about 10 feet behind them is the troop of Royal Marines there, and they're all absolutely in step, look fucking awesome. They all look like they're the same person. It's just like, that's fucking a great illustration of the two.
What's the thing with the pith helmets and the Royal Marines?
Don't know. Normally,
there's a history behind that.
There is, but normally it's the case that they haven't got enough peak caps, because you'll see this weekend, peak cap is the dress. And that's what non-commissioned officers and Marines wear, and then officers wear pith helmets usually.
Right.
But I think if it's a special occasion like this, then they go up one.
Right. I just wondered because
yeah.
They stand out a bit in their pith helmets, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Look a bit novelty.
That's probably why they're all wearing it. They can
so you look like
one up the guards.
You look like a hat in your hat.
Yeah, true. Right. Well, I think we've covered that pretty well.
It was a pretty extensive episode, that was.
And if nothing else,
could be a record.
If nothing else, the war movies is just something for you to take home. So there you go. There is our veterans episode covered off. Next week, what were we gonna think about doing? Are we gonna decide on that as we go?
We're juggling a few plates, aren't we? Because we've got a few interesting weekends in the pipeline,
which should serve as good podcast topics.
Yeah, so we'll fill you in with our adventures off screen, on screen, in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
And then we've also got the mental health behemoth to cover which is going to take. Episode. We want to do our due diligence on that, so we don't want to
rush into that.
But yeah, we've got a lot of exciting podcasts coming up. Got any comments about your favourite war films, or if you're a veteran and you've got any funny
pertinent stories?
Pertinent stories. I was going to say funny dits, but that just says a lot about me.
Yeah. Well, either or, get them in the comments.
Drop them in the comments.
If you're on Spotify, leave us a review. If it's not 5 stars, don't leave us a review, because our average will come down. If you're on Spotify, do that. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. And we'll see you next week in our next episode.
See you next week.